The two keys to learning at an elite level that will transform your life. Key number one, model Mount Rushmore. And key number two, seek out and learn from the best of the best coaches and mentors. Let's break this down. Okay. What do I mean by study and model? Okay. Model Mount Rushmore. What do I mean by that? Study and model the absolute best of the best in your discipline or field. Make your thoughts, words, habits, and days look like theirs. Okay, here's an excerpt from the book Hidden Genius by Paulina Marinova Pompliano. Outstanding book on performance and success and positive impact. And Paulina tells us when he was a young player, Kobe Bryant says he went to Goat Mountain to speak to players like Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, and Bill Russell. He asked them, quote, what did you do? What were your experiences? What was the process like for you? End quote. A great exercise to ask yourself is to ask yourself, who's the person living my dream life? Identify that person, research their early life, and figure out how they got to where they are today. As Bryant said, quote, we're surrounded by people who do incredible things, and the information is right there for us to learn from. End quote. Listen intently, take what you have learned, and bet on yourself. Here's a quote. Here's two thoughts from John Spence, a great friend and mentor of mine. John is recognized as top 10 business thought leaders in the world, along with Jeff Bezos and the co-founders of Google. He's also read over 3,000 books on performance and leadership. And John is a trusted advisor to NASA, Microsoft, Coca-Cola, and some of the other most successful organizations in the world. And John tells us, if you spend 15 minutes a day studying how to be better at your job or improve your life skills, you would be in the top 1% of the world in self-learning. Here's John's 7 by 1 by 7 rule. Reading 7 days per week for 1 hour per day in your chosen field will make you an international expert in 7 years. All right. I've found in my last 20 years of research, study, and practice on the mindsets, habits, and strategies of high performance that John is extremely accurate in those two numbers, 15 minutes to an hour a day. So my action step for you, here's your key action step. Spend 15 minutes to an hour a day studying and learning from the best of the best performers or experts at something you want to improve on, and it will change your life. Okay? Study, take action. All right. Key number 2 in terms of becoming an elite learner, okay, is to learn from the best of the best coaches and mentors. So, what do I mean by this? Once you identify someone as a true expert who has something important to teach you, shut up and listen. Be humble, relentlessly curious, and coachable. Okay, so here's how I want you to show up. When you identify someone who is a true expert, a role model, someone who is 5 to 50 years ahead of you where you want to be. You've identified them as a true expert because you must ignore unqualified opinions, okay, and those who are not true experts, but the true best of the best experts are what they do. Here's how you show up, okay? When you talk to them, don't tell stories, ask questions. Meaning, don't give them a history lesson of your life or the question you're asking. Don't tell stories, okay? Instead, ask questions. What I can tell you is from 20 plus years of study and research and being around some of the world's most successful, high impact people, they talk 10% of the time and listen 90% of the time. And oftentimes it's 5% listening, 5% talking, 95% listening. Okay, because they want to know what you know. If they identify you as a true expert at something, they want to know what you know. They already know what they know. They want to know what you know. So that's why it's so important to model this behavior and don't tell stories, ask questions. Here's the second thing. Don't make statements, ask questions. If you're sitting in front of someone who can help you dramatically improve your situation, your life, your career, your health, your happiness, don't make statements, ask questions. Just ask questions, shut up and listen. Okay. Here's another way to think about it. Don't talk about what happened. Talk about what you want to happen, meaning don't tell stories, don't vent, don't give history lessons. Don't talk about what happened. Talk about what you want to happen in the future. Your goals, your dreams, things you want to improve, remedying a situation that's bad. Okay. So what I want you to do is show up with your top 3 questions in order of importance and shut up and listen. So identify before you talk to this true expert, What are the top three things you want to know? Rank them in order of importance. If there's only one thing that you could learn from this person, start with that question. So show up prepared. Top three questions in order of importance. Shut up and listen. Okay. Lastly, take notes. Okay. Take the notes you need to take so you remember, and then take action. Okay. Here's some thoughts on elite learning from some incredible experts on success and performance. Here's one from Nick Saban, 7-time college football national champion head coach. Nick says average players, they would like to just be left alone. Good players really want to be coached, and great players want to be told the truth. And these guys are always seeking the truth in terms of what they can do: character, attitude, competitor, technical execution at their position to get better. And here's some thoughts on here's a thought quote about Michael Jordan from Roland Lazenby. He wrote Michael Jordan's biography, The Life. And Roland tells us that Michael Jordan was the greatest listener that Coach Dean Smith ever coached. He was an incredible listener. All right. And here's some quotes from Michael Jordan himself. He said, "My best skill was that I was coachable. I was a sponge and aggressive to learn." Michael also tells us successful people listen. Those who don't listen don't last long. And here's some thoughts from Dr. Alan Weiss, one of the greatest experts on leadership performance, entrepreneurship, a great mentor of mine, Dr. Alan Weiss. He says, if you look at people in sports, entertainment, academia, business, and so forth, the best people are most open to being coached because they realize that if they don't get an outside source to help them, they are breathing their own exhaust. The weaker people, afraid of admitting that they need help, it's an ego problem, they don't get the help, so they never get all that much better. It's the best people who I've seen pretty consistently are willing to reinvest in themselves and get coached. What happens with fame is that when you sometimes lose yourself in the adoration and adulation, and people are afraid to give you feedback, you don't get any tough love. So that's why it's important to have someone from the outside say, "What do you think you're doing right now?" Here's another quote from Dr. Alan Weiss. Here are some people who have used coaches: Jack Welch, former CEO of General Electric; billionaire Richard Branson; Academy Award winning actress Meryl Streep; the CEOs of the World Bank; the founder and owner of Heineken; William Sloan at General Motors; legendary actor Paul Newman; Tiger Woods; Tom Brady. Why don't we work with the reality that great performers are those who are wise enough to use coaches? And here's another thought from Dr. Weiss. He says, Dr. Marshall Goldsmith and I, in our collaborations, have come from different origins to the same conclusion. If you can't change something you want to change in 30 days, you need professional help to do so, whether cleaning out your garage or clearing out your head. All right, so here's my action step. My challenge to you: identify one coach or mentor. Set up a session to learn from them. Shut up and listen. Take notes and take action. So those are the two keys to elite learning. If you really apply these two action steps, and you apply these principles, these keys to your life, this will give you an almost unfair competitive advantage in anything you want to do, as well as help you live a better life, better health, better happiness, better relationships, better positive impact. Okay, if you found this useful, please share it with one person who you think would also find it useful and can use this message and this information, all right, to improve their life, their career, their work, their business. All right, I wish you an elevated life of success, happiness, and positive impact.